Welcome everyone. So today we're gonna talk about DSLR versus phone cameras. And this is also one of the super good topic, and this is one of the main questions that I get from people. Should I use a DSLR? Should I use a phone? Like, what's the difference? So we're just gonna dive into the slides here and we will discuss all about this topic. So these are one of the main sentences that I always hear, like phone cameras are killing photography. Cell phone is not a camera. And then there are people who are like obsessed with phone cameras and they are saying that, it doesn't matter if I use a DSLR, if I use a phone. I would say that just like use whatever camera you have and then like always ask what's the purpose there, because it might go like, for some people, phone camera is the right choice. For others, is the DSLR. So it all depends on what's your purpose. But let's just like compare these phone versus DSLR cameras. So what is DSLR? DSLR is obviously digital single lens reflect camera, and notably for allowing interchangeable lenses on the same camera body. And it's a reflection of that light from a mirror inside the camera body. So as you can see, with DSLR, you can obviously have the option to change lenses compared to the phone. So this is a huge difference compared to the phone. And that's like one of the main things. And obviously the mirror inside. But it might be the case that you just use both. You use phone and DSLR, and depending on what's your purpose, you use it like this. For example, I'm personally using sometimes phone cameras, sometimes DSLR, and obviously if I'm doing some work for the clients, then DSLR is the way to go for me. But if I'm just having some social media clips, then the phone is the easiest solution. And then at some point at first I was only like, okay, I'm only shooting with DSLR cameras and I don't even bother to use my phone. But at some point I was like, yeah, maybe I should challenge myself with phone photography as well, because this is something different that you can learn from this one as well, because in the end of the day they're going to complement each other. And with phone cameras is something super special is the thing that you have limited options compared to the DSLR. So that's why I really took this one as a challenge. And when there was a possibility, then I just challenged myself to use my phone as well when I didn't have my DSLR with me. So if we look at the format and resolutions, then obviously, like with DSLR, I always shoot RAW. And actually many people don't know it, but with phone cameras you have the option to shoot RAW as well. And we will dive into this one in another lesson, and how to use Lightroom phone app to shoot raw photos on your phone as well. Because with raw photos, obviously you have way better chance to edit the photos, and you have more options there. With the file size, obviously with DSLR and especially full frame cameras, you have bigger file sizes, and you have the option to have way bigger storages than the phone cameras. Yes, obviously nowadays, like, you have all the cloud options and everything, but in general, DSLR has obviously way better options and for storage in general. And now I would like to ask you guys if this photo here is a phone or DSLR. So obviously I can't hear your answers right now, but again, we have the super active community where we do these kind of exercises or webinars. But this one is actually, so drum roll, what do you think it is? It is a phone photo, and as you can see, like there are a lot of details, even if you go like even closer. And you could easily mistake this one with DSLR. But if you have a trained eye, then obviously you can't make this mistake that easily. But yeah, this is one of the things that sometimes when people are like, okay, I love phone, I love DSLR, and then I took a photo with something and I don't tell what camera I used, and then they just have to guess what it is. So another topic we definitely have to think about is flexibility. So flexibility is a super important topic here, because if we compare these two, then obviously with DSLR and especially manual mode, you have super close control. Obviously, again, on the other hand, you can have phone camera and manual mode on phones as well to have a bigger control everything. But still, I would say that with DSLR, I have way better control over focus, and I can way more easily manipulate the depth of field. But again, like nowadays, the phones are are amazing, and they can sometimes make literally magic. And with this one, I mean, like, yeah, you even on iPhones, you have the portrait mode and the usual mode, and the portrait mode even makes the blurry background and everything. And then you have some extra lenses that you can basically put on top of your phone cameras. So here you put like here another lens on top, and you have the macro and micro options. But again, like I would say that I have played around with these ones and they're not like this. Like you can't compare this one to the DSLR, and DSLR in my eyes are always a winner if you want to shoot macro or micro. And then another thing I would say, high shutter speed. So with DSLR, I'm like super confident to shoot, for example, powdered sugar images, or when I'm pouring something. But with phone cameras, it's like a little bit limited because you can't shoot that easily those high shutter speed photos. But obviously you can do everything, and some people may say that it's possible, but the quality in DSLR in this case is obviously completely different. So but still, I would say that at the end of the day, the best camera is the one that's with you. So definitely, like if you're obsessed with DSLR, then challenge yourself to shoot with phone. And if you're obsessed with phone, then challenge yourself to use DSLR, because I would say that in the end of the day, like these skills are both like complementary, and you can learn something from other one. And in most cases, like if you don't have your DSLR with you and you just have your phone, then what you can do is that you can still learn about a lot about composition and practice composition in general, and even learn about light. Because if you, for example, go for a walk, you're in a super beautiful place, and then suddenly you're like, oh my god, this light is like just amazing. Or you're in a cafe and the light comes through the window, then just take your phone and play around with this one, because you can learn about light by just like playing around with phone when you don't have your DSLR with you. So here are a few other DSLR advantages. So obviously I'm not gonna read them out loud because you can read it yourself here. But the main three main things, as I mentioned before, is that DSLR are way better on low light conditions, and they have better maybe out of focus systems and battery life. So as you know, like low light especially, like that's what I can see with my phone photography as well, is that when I just shoot with low light, then there's like so little options here. That obviously when light is super awesome, I stand next to the window to get the amazing light on the food, then like you can compare with these ones. But with low light, you can't. Like seriously, if you wanna use a flash gun with DSLR and compare this one with the phone, then it doesn't make any sense, because obviously the DSLR is a winner. And then another thing is autofocus. So with DSLR, you have way better options for autofocus compared to the point and shoot cameras. And this is another thing. And then battery life. So as you know, like obviously we have those battery banks, but with DSLR, like that battery stays forever basically. Because at least, like for example with my DSLR, I don't know, it takes a lot before the battery runs empty, but with my phone I need to charge this one like every single day. So another exercise is this phone or a DSLR photo. So just like think about it a little bit, like look at the details, look at the angle, and yeah, so little drum roll here, and yeah, it's another phone photo that I took. And then let's go further. So disadvantages of DSLR. Obviously, the main thing is portability. DSLRs are huge. Compared to phone, that is super easy to just put in your pocket and walk around. But another thing is that, yeah, DSLR or maybe even mirrorless cameras are nowadays so powerful, and it feels like they're like starting to take over the camera world. So maybe the option for you is also like mirrorless camera. And then with DSLR, disadvantages is definitely the thing that viewfinder still may not be exactly what's exposed to the photo sensor in the DSLR camera. So if you look inside, then you see one thing, and then you shoot, and then it's like a completely another thing. So especially when you use a flash gun. But again, like I think for me personally, it's a minor detail. And then yeah. So in the end of the day, I would highly suggest you guys to just think about like these things. First of all, what's your purpose? If you're only shooting for social media and you just, I don't know, you just launched a small food brand and you need like quick social media post, or you're a restaurant owner and you just want to post on social media with all the things that are happening in a cafe or restaurant, then yeah, then just like hire a food photographer when you're when you need website photos and stuff like that. But for simple social media clips and clicks, it's like, yeah, phone obviously. And then what you have to do obviously is just you have to learn how to shoot with phone. It's like, yeah, you need to know a few tricks and then you can literally make magic with this one. And then the cost, obviously, like DSLR cameras are way more expensive, but phones nowadays, yeah, you can have like more expensive phones as well. But with this one, I would say that, yeah, you use your phone from other things as well, not only photos. And then portability. Like as I said before, like obviously DSLRs are more heavier and everything, but again, like, yeah, there's a quality difference. So in the end of the day, just think about like what's your purpose. And then if you obviously want to go professional as a photographer, then yeah, you need this kind of DSLR. That's not even a question. But if you want like simple food photos for social media, then I would just say like go with phone. And if you get bored and you want some new challenges, then go for the DSLR. So thank you for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!